What's up everybody, and thank you so much for joining me back into Bellwright as I'm starting a new playthrough, and I thought it would be a really appropriate time to start this new playthrough as we will be getting a new update very soon. And the update will include crossbows as well as fortified walls, but that's only part of the new update. Now I want to set up myself a town that's appropriately set up so that when we do get the fortified walls that I'll be able to set up my defenses accordingly. So let's just jump into it. I'm going to go through all the usual things. We're going to head up this tower and just grab some loot that we've got over here. Let's see, we've got a fish fillet and we've got some berry jam. Okay, great stuff. I'm probably going to go for the berry jam. Yeah, we can't eat the raw fish. So I'm going to just consume that berry jam. That's going to give us that extra stamina so that I can run a little bit faster. And we're going to go through all the basic things. I'm going to grab whatever stone I can and sticks. And we're going to start setting up our town. And now this initial town, I'm not going to set up too far from this initial location of where Hondin is. But eventually I want to have a fully fledged town. I want to have kind of like in the middle between Padstow, Hondin and Bradford. If I can set it up roundabout over here, then we can comfortably defend all of these three towns on a later stage. If we do get those reclamation parties that will be coming back to try and take over the towns again. I've just spoken to the elder now and I need to set up myself a personal shack, and I don't want to set it up too far away from Hondin, but it needs to be far enough so that I can just basically gather resources also. So let's just grab whatever we can. We need quite a bit of flax, and then I need wood and some stone also to set up maybe a campfire. But we've got plenty of flax over here, so I'm going to just grab this, and we've got a couple of sticks. So let's just grab whatever we can here. And then obviously we've got these berry bushes as well, which is going to be a good food source for us at the beginning stages. I'm not going to grab too many of the berries because they do spoil after time. So if I have too many of them in my inventory, then they're just going to spoil and I'm not really going to benefit from that. So let's just see. We've got some hemp also over here. They're under the trees, and that's going to come in handy very soon. And there's some sage. We're not really going to use that at this stage. Okay, and now I need to look for some rocks. I think there is a few stones laying around over here. There we go. Okay, so these stones we obviously need for our initial tools. Just see if I can get a few extra over here. There we are. I'm gonna just leave that hemp for now. Let's just see here with the inventory, what can we craft? I actually need more wood for the axe. Okay, so let's just see. Need a few more extra sticks laying around over here. There we go. Just want to harvest this dead wood. Okay, so I'm going to just craft myself an axe. That's definitely the first thing that we need. And I'm going to slot it into my weapons inventory. And yeah, my inventory is almost pretty much full with all the flax. So let's just look for a location where I can set up the personal shack. Yeah, I'm going to just drop it down over here. Alright, so we've got a few trees that we can harvest on this side. I'm going to just harvest all of these thinner trees. I don't require any logs as of yet. So these young trees, they just give plain sticks, really. So we're going to just go ahead and harvest a whole bunch of these. There we go. Alright, so we've got everything that we need to set up the shack, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. It's quite satisfying seeing all these pieces coming together, but at the later stages of the game, to assemble these really big buildings takes a lot of effort if you are going to do it by yourself. It almost feels impossible. So then you are going to have to utilize your villagers to build the construction, to build structures really. Otherwise, you're just gonna take forever. There we go. Alrighty, so we've got our personal shack set up, and I'm gonna just go ahead and maybe drop all of the flax in here. Let's keep the fish fillet there for now, and I'm gonna drop the seeds also in here, and the sage. Yeah, that can also go really. Let's maybe make ourselves a campfire if we can. Here we go. I'm gonna just drop it down like here. Yeah, so we're gonna need some extra stones. I'm gonna just have to run around and look for stones over here. There we go. And once I've got the campfire set up, I'm going to just put that fish fillet on the fire, and maybe with a few mushrooms, I'm going to just grill that. Then we've got plenty of food to keep us going for some time. Just grab these saplings for extra sticks. And I think once I harvested this young tree, then I think we've got everything we need for the campfire. So let's just quickly head back. I want to just set this campfire up. There we go. I want to keep it relatively compact. Let's see here. Let's add some wood. There we go. Okay, the fish fillet is somehow already on. I was looking for the fish fillet and then I saw he just popped the fish fillet right on there. Okay, so that's good. That's already grilling. But I actually would like to add some mushrooms. There should be some mushrooms right over here. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So these mushrooms can basically grill with the fish. Now it says here we need to wait till the next day before we can go back to the elder. And then from there we'll be able to actually just continue our story. Let's see, I can craft myself a torch. I don't think it's really necessary. I don't really spend that much time running around at night. But let's just craft ourselves a primitive club. I also don't think I'm going to use the primitive club really. The axe is sufficient as a initial weapon. Well, that's just in my opinion. I'll most probably give the club to my first villager, which is Lubomir. And I'll give him the club and then he can run around with the club. Between the two, I don't actually know which one creates more damage. Let's just see here. 18 blunt damage, 20 cutting damage. Okay, you see, so the axe is actually a better weapon to have. Although the club has got more speed, so maybe it's a good thing if I've got somebody with the club specifically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just harvest some extra wood over here. We're going to just harvest these young trees, and I'm going to keep a whole bunch of wood in my inventory. We've got some tree seedlings also that we're getting over here. And we'll only be able to utilize that also at a much later stage. Oh, and here we've got plenty of stone. Yeah, let's just gather a whole bunch of that. Here we go. So I'm going to place myself a camp chest, and we can add all the things that we're gathering now. We can just place it in here for now. I mean, we're going to have like a really small setup over here. I'm maybe going to have one extra shack that's also going to stand here. Okay, there we've got the grilled fish. And we've got the grilled mushrooms. So you can see my character has already consumed almost all the food. It's only the berry jam that's really left. So yeah, let's go for the fish. And then also for the mushrooms. I think I'm going to leave the mushrooms for now. I'm going to put it in the camp storage. I'm going to rather consume some berries, because that's going to give me some extra stamina. I prefer to have the stamina. Okay, so we need some extra flax, so we're going to just transfer all of this flax across. Here we go. And now we can place this in our camp storage. Here we go. So I actually want to head out to this one specific location. I think it's roundabout over here. Yeah, let's quickly head out here. So there's like some sort of ritual site with a little chest that you can get some loot from. So I want to quickly head out there and just grab whatever I can. And usually you get some really nice food in there. With the previous playthroughs I did, I actually got some decent food. Now you get these ritual sites like on different locations over the map. Here we are. So we've got this little container. Offering box, okay. Let's see there. Okay, we got mashed potatoes, coins, and an old coin. Okay, now that old coin we utilize to gain... You give it to the elder and you can gain extra trust from the elders. My advice would be to keep the coins until a much later stage. There's a lot of other ways that you can gain trust in the initial stages of your game. Just by completing normal quests. And the quests are relatively easy, especially at the beginning. So keep the coins until you need to liberate like the more difficult towns. Like for example, Bradford. You don't get as many quests from Bradford, so I would recommend that you use the coins for Bradford. Padstow, you get quite a decent amount of quests, as well as with Farnworth. And then Black Ridge Bull you don't get as much, so then I would recommend that you also use the old coins to give to the elder over there and just build up your trust really. And I think we can just start collecting this hemp as well. So I mean, the hemp is like such a valuable plant material to have. Your best initial armors are made from hemp, so yeah, you're gonna need to make sure that you've got plenty of that at the beginning stages. And they usually grow under these long thin trees, which they call the young trees. Okay, I think I got everything that I can from that region. Let's just go ahead and place it here in our camp storage. Okay, and that old coin is also going to go there. I'm going to keep the mashed potatoes. Now I'm going to replace the berry jam with the mashed potatoes. Once the buff from the berry jam runs out, then I'm going to just consume the mashed potatoes. We don't have actually that much storage left, so I'm probably going to have to set up 2 camp chests over here. Let's do another one. Want to keep them kind of relatively close together. And what do we need? We need 3 flax, 6 wood. Okay, we've got some extra hemp over here. I'm going to just go ahead and collect this as well. There we go. Come on. Okay, let's just see if we can grab another flax over here. 1, 2, let's just grab what we can. Okay, cool. Okay, great. So I'm gonna just drop all of this in here. See, that storage is full now. So we're gonna just carry on filling this storage here. Now I know there's another looting spot not so far from here. I think it's roundabout over here. There's a few wolves there. But yeah, I'm gonna just try and see if I can take those wolves on. You would need to try and isolate the wolves if you're on your own. And at the beginning stages of the game, you want to try and just isolate those wolves. Pick them out one by one. And I'm gonna just go ahead and consume this mashed potatoes. So I just want to see, can't really remember where the spot was. It was somewhere over here where you can also get some loot. I also do need to keep an eye out for the bandits, because if they do patrols here, I'm not really in a good position to take on these bandits. Okay, there we've got one wolf. So if it's only one wolf, I mean, we can take them on, then that's fine. Here we go. So we've got a looting chest over here. Nice. Small piece of cooked meat, dried berries. There's another chest over here. Alright, so there's just a little story there. I'm not going to go into that. Let's just quickly look here. There's a few things that we got. Okay, so we got 2 old coins. We've got some dried berries, which is excellent for the stamina. And then we've also got a piece of cooked meat, which gives you equal health and stamina boost. And we got a strength book, which is fantastic. Especially at this stage of the game. To have a strength book is going to help us tremendously. So we're going to just go ahead and consume the strength book for ourselves. And it's going to take 30 minutes to get that extra 500 experience. But that's going to push us a lot closer to the level 2 strength. And then when we also increase our strength, we can then also utilize stronger weapons, really. Or better weapons, if I could say it like that. So it's almost getting dark, and we need to go back to the Elder the next day. So I'm going to just head back to camp. I'm going to just deposit those old coins into my chests. You can see there's some smoke. If you look over the trees there, there's some smoke right over there. Now that is definitely a bandit camp. Yeah, as you can see here on the map. If you see those smoke signals, then you can be sure that it's going to be a bandit camp there. So yeah, that's not too far from us. And I think before I take on this bandit camp, I want to maybe have 2 villagers with me with shields. Before I'm going to take them on, and I do need a bow, preferably. Yeah, I want to do that also. Or I want to get that as well. Okay, so it's getting dark. I'm going to just store all my stuff. And let's just see if we can fast forward onto the next day. I'll just keep the berries in my inventory, I think. Okay, let's see here. Can we sleep? Too early? Okay, I don't know what time it needs to be. I think it's 8 o'clock that it needs to be before you can sleep. But we're almost there. Okay, well then in that case, I'm going to just go ahead and harvest some extra wood. Now we're going to obviously need this wood now to build the second shack. And what's nice about the villagers' shacks, you get 2 people in there, so that just really makes it a lot easier. I suppose we can place the shack over here. Well, they call it a housing tent, but it really is a shack. So I'm going to set up my second housing tent over here. And we do need logs for this. so we can... I think we can harvest this tree actually for the logs. Yeah. This is a fully grown tree, so we can get 2 or 3 logs, I think, from this tree specifically. Okay, we're gonna get 2 logs from this, and this is perfect. That's all we need for this housing tent. Okay, last one. There we go. So we can just go ahead and set this up so that when we do get our first villager, then everything's already set up here. And we've already got some food in storage, so there is some food for them to consume. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going on to the next day.
Stop wandering around.
Greetings, newcomer. Say, have we met before?
So basically, we just have to convince Lubomir to help us. He's not too far from here. Yeah, can already see him.
The forest has a way. What are you looking for? It's You don't look like the hunting type. So what are you doing here? Ha! The people in Dobron has no respect for my craft. He doesn't value everything I've contributed to that damn village. And you're asking for help, but you don't know a thing. I used to be a respected member of the so I left. When I asked for better pay, the elder said no and actually warned me not to ask again. At one point, he said he'd speak to the brigand. It's not about wealth. I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest. Let's make You look like someone who... I'm willing to join you if you provide me with shelter and food. Together, we can make each other's lives easier in this land.
Okay, so here Lubomir's just basically saying that if he can come with me, then he'll help me with whatever I need. So you can see here, this is all the skills of Lubomir. He's got really good skills, to be honest. For a starting villager to invite to your town, this is looking really good. And he's got some special skills also. So he's a prodigy. That means he gets 30% skill gain with whatever he does. So he's gonna go through his levels much quicker, and he's a gourmand, which means he cooks better and his hunger speed goes down slower. So this is excellent. I mean, this is a guy that you really want to take with you till the end, I would say. Okay, so there we go. So I've got Lubomir that's going to join me. I'm going to just grab myself a piece of meat. Now, I do need to get him some food. So let's just see. I want to maybe just grab some berries over here. And I'm going to just give that to him. Yeah. Where is he now? There we go. Okay, so let's just transfer some berries there into his inventory. Now he can consume that. There we go. So you can see he's already had a piece of cooked meat. He's got roasted mushrooms, and now he's got the berry as well. So he's pretty well fed. And I think that's going to keep him going for quite some time. He didn't leave any food for us though, unfortunately. But yeah. Turn your companion into a worker so that he can help you with building. Okay. Alright, build a research desk and build a simple workbench. Okay, that's easy enough. So we're going to just head back to the campsite. Which is a little bit more to the right. Alrighty, so we're gonna need to build ourselves a research desk. It takes 2 logs, unfortunately, to build that. And I'm gonna just go ahead and set it up right over here like so. And then the simple workbench. Let's just maybe also place it right over here. Now I'm going to eventually destroy all of these structures. And I'm gonna move my village. Essentially, I'm gonna move it down a little bit further down, as I've mentioned at the beginning. I want to have it more or less over here. So if I can have all my stuff there together, I think that would be ideal. Just want to see who is actually walking over here. Andre. Oh, this is a trader, I believe. I just want to check this out because this is like a new thing that came with the previous update. Yeah, there we go. So you can now find traders that's walking in between all the different villages.
Ah, a fellow traveler.
Look at this. And he's actually got some really good things. So you can buy a vase, which you can use as a decoration. And then there's some really nice food. You've got sturdy arrows, potato seeds, animal feed. Oh, this is great. And let's see what he wants. So the pearls, the fish scales, and the white pearls, the black pearls and the white pearls you can sell to him. That you can get through fishing, directly or indirectly from the fishing and the fishing scale. So you can get really good money for these if you do find it. At this stage, I don't think there's any use for the pearls or the fish scale, except for selling it, maybe to the trader. But that is great. You can get some really good money for that. And then you can sell the pitchforks and the hose. Okay, cool. That's quite nice. Now I see here that Lubomir, he actually went to harvest some logs. So that means he's got an axe on him already. Let me just see. Oh yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. So he already started harvesting by himself. This is really great. So this was something that was also not introduced in the earlier stages of the game. You needed to have like a woodcutter's hut in order for them to start harvesting trees by themselves. But you can see here now, just with having these 2 structures, he's already working to gather all the resources that we need to build these structures. So I'm really happy with that. I haven't started a new game in a while, so this is something new for me also that I'm learning over here. Okay, so let's just see. We've got wood here and we've got stone. So I can just utilize this, right? Yeah. I'm going to just keep all these old coins. I want to keep them together. We're going to use them on a later stage. Specifically, I would use them for Bradford, just to build our trust there. Okay, and we need some additional flax and wood. So let's just grab a few flax flowers over here. Well, I think I've got enough flax now. Let's just see here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so the only other thing we need is wood. So I'm gonna just go ahead and chop down a few trees over here. We go. Okay, so I think we sorted for the wood now. Here we go.
I feel it's going to be a good day.
Oh wow, Lubomir has really moved. He's already gathered all the stuff that we need for the simple workbench, and now the research desk is also done. So for the research desk, we need to now first research the small traps. Okay, cool. There we go. We need a few extra resources. We need some extra flax here again. So let's just grab this. And then also the extra wood. Okay, we've got some sticks laying around here. And let's just maybe chop down a few trees. Okay, inventory's full. Okay. Let's just put it here in the camp chest. So now Lubomir can gather whatever he needs from here. Okay, so structure priority, I'm gonna make this the highest priority. And then the second thing I want to do, well, I don't know if this would be the second thing, but I really want to get this also researched, is the elm shortbow. And let's just see, for the elm shortbow we need the rope.
It's like magic.
Or the simple cord, sorry, it's the simple cords that we need. Now, I can't craft the simple cord yet.
Did you see that sunset last night?
Let me just see,
It
I
was
can't
beautiful,
remember.
wasn't it?
I need a specific... Or do I need to research this? Just want to see. Can't actually remember how to get the simple cord. Just want to go here to the tech tree. It's something that I need to research. I can't remember. Simple cord. Oh yes, we need a weaver loom. That is what we need. Okay, so the weaver loom, I think we can only unlock the weaver loom after we researched the logging camp or the foraging camp. It's one of those two. But alternatively, what I can also do, I can head out. There's a carpenter or craftsman that's living roundabout over here. Now I know there's a few wolves around this territory also, but we can buy simple cords from him, if I'm not mistaken. Or you sell the cords, it's either one of the two. Anyways, let's go ahead and research the next thing, which would be the logging camp, I would say. And we can just chop down one of these big trees. Right, so we've got another 2 pieces of logs over here. And I need to get Lubomir to just maybe craft some traps that we can set up. And then we can start gathering some meat also for myself and for the villagers. So let's just see this log. I'm gonna just pop this log in here. Let's just grab the other one. Here we go. Okay, so I've got the research now as priority 1, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the simple workbench as a priority number 2. And then we can just do the small traps. And I'm gonna maybe say, let's do 3 of these. It requires a lot of wood, but yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and chop down a few extra trees. So I'm gonna get all of this set up off screen, and then once we've got the traps and I've got plenty of wood, then from here we need to head back. I think we need to head back to the elder over here, and then we're gonna do some extra quests. But that's it from me, everybody, for today's episode. I do hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please do remember to subscribe. Also press the like button if you haven't done so yet, and then I'll see you in the next one.
In a game of adventure and strategy, we make our mark. That's the game of building kingdoms.